on the day of the session, I'm hearing things like, oh, have they brought the bouquet? Bouquet for photo shoots. I say, okay, maybe I'm the one that's overthinking it. And the next thing I'm hearing, are the bridesmaids there? The funny thing is that particular girl, I'll never forget, she lied. Hi babes, how are you guys doing? Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Ginika Temple. I am a professional beauty educator, a professional makeup artist, and I'm also a beauty influencer. So you guys, we are going to get right into this. And just in case you're meeting me for the first time, I have been in the beauty industry for a whole 16 years by God's grace. And by God's grace, I have learned so much throughout this time, which is the reason why I am here to share this with you. And in case you're wondering what should be in your contract, what should be in your terms and conditions, what should you put as policies, that you send to your clients, what are those things? So if you're not sure, I'm going to be telling you the things that were in my terms and conditions at the time I was taking clients, so that you can make an informed decision and choose what you want to add to yours, or what you might want to take out. Without further ado, we're going to get right in. Now, if you do not have your pen and paper right now, you already know when you're coming here, you're coming to take notes. Always have your pen and paper all the time, okay? I have a lot to do today, so I'm not going to be, here for long. But I want us to really get into this as quickly as possible. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to quickly get your pen and paper, and then we're going to kick off. The first thing is your payment policy, okay? So mine says, I'm going to read out mine, but I'm going to summarize it on the screen, okay? So mine says a minimum of 50% non-refundable / non-transferable deposit is required to book a session. Available slots remain open until deposit has been received. Balance is due 1 week to appointment. If initial booking is less than 1 week prior, full payment will be required to book. So what this simply means is that the first sentence says minimum of 50% non-refundable, non-transferable deposit. Why do you say non-transferable? Why can't the deposit be transferred to the next person, or to your friend, to their friend, or to their family, or whatnot? Why does it say non-transferable? Now, depending on how you want to run your business, you're going to find a lot of people in this side of the world. I live in North America, I live in Canada. You're going to find a lot of people in this side of the world with that policy. Okay? Look at it this way. When a deposit is transferable, it can be transferred to anybody. Personally, before I take certain bookings, sometimes I search up the client. I just search your name. It's a different thing. If you don't have any social media present, that's not a problem. But sometimes if maybe something is a bit off, or something is not adding up, or something makes me uncomfortable, I could look you up. I could search your name somewhere just to be sure who I'm dealing with. Sometimes you see a name that multiple people are bearing, but most times you would know which one it is. Like most time, maybe not all the time. But in certain situations, you don't want a situation whereby somebody you do not know, somebody you have no idea who they are, somebody you don't know if there's something wrong in their head, especially for people who render services from their home. You want to be very careful who you allow come to your home. The person, non-transferable, the person could transfer the service to somebody that could come and be a harm or be a risk to you and your family. So you want to be very careful. If you're okay to allow that, that's fine. I never used to allow transfers. If you cannot for any reason make your appointment for a good reason, maybe health reasons, or you had an accident, God forbid, or natural disasters, we withhold your booking. So you have the opportunity to rebook with the same deposit you've already paid within the following 6 months. Okay, within the following 6 months. Maybe you no longer want to do the makeup session, the type of service you wanted, and you want to switch to something higher. We cannot go lower because we're not sending you back any money. The only way you can go lower, for example, you booked a bridal makeup and you didn't want to, do it again, which is hardly the case. You cannot transfer down to studio session. So if you choose to transfer down to studio session for like random studio session, it means you're willing to forfeit the difference in price. but we don't refund you back the difference in price. So you can only upgrade higher or stay the same. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now it says balance is due latest 1 week to appointment. So I used to take 50% for you to reserve your slot, and then balance is due 1 week to appointment. On no occasion will I advise anybody to take payment after service. I in this part of the world it can work because to a very large extent, maybe not totally, but to a very large extent, people around here behave well. But depending on where you live and how people behave where you are, you want to be careful if you want to allow that. Personally, I want to do my makeup and leave because I used to have like another appointment. Most times I would have another appointment, and I don't want a situation whereby, oh, maybe for any reason the balance is delayed, or maybe the person who is supposed to pay it is not there, and the client says, oh, I don't have cash, and you are forced to leave. I never was in that situation, and that is simply because I had these policies in place. So you know the one that can apply where you are, or what you feel would work for you, and then know the ones that you want to throw out the window. Okay? The other thing here on that point number 1 is if initial booking is less than 1 week prior, full payment will be required to book, which simply means if, for example, because my policy already says 50% prior and then 50% 1 week before, in an event where the client is trying to make the booking 1 week before, I don't mind if there's a slot available. It means that if you're making it 1 week to the appointment, or less than 1 week, you're going to be required to pay full payment upfront. Okay, so if you're starting off, you may want to make your policy slightly flexible. Okay, what I would advise, you can do higher than 50% upfront to book, and then you can now maybe decide to take cash balance or pay after service. That's up to you. It all depends on what makes you feel comfortable. Me, I'll not tell you to do what I didn't do, because I just hate anything that would have to do with, oh, you are calling the client is now saying, oh no, I'm rushing to church, oh, my church has started, oh, she's not even considerate, oh, it's somebody's wedding and you're talking about money before church. Sometimes they will rush up and leave you, maybe not intentionally, and then their aunties and their aunts. I experienced those things when I started in 2009. So fast forward to 2022, 2023, before I stopped taking clients, I couldn't be caught doing the same mistake. So I hope you guys learn from my mistakes and decide for yourself what works for you, okay? Terms and condition number 2. We reserve the right to withhold service if a client is hostile and/or have been blocked from booking appointments but booked under another alias. If a client books regular studio session for a bridal ceremony, in bracket, as a bride in disguise, we will not serve them. In bracket, no refund will be issued. This helped us to eliminate, because I did experience like twice, somebody will book like studio session, because we always ask you when you reach out to book, first thing we'll ask you, my assistant will ask you, or I myself, if I'm the one answering you, would ask you is, what is the makeup for? We want to know what the makeup is for, okay? It's our right to know what we're coming to serve you for, okay? If you're not comfortable to say what it is for, we're not for you. We're not here to argue with you or debate with you. So when we ask you what is the service for, that determines the rate card that we send to you and the terms and conditions that we send to you. So this is pretty much straight to the point, okay? If a client is hostile, you're being rude, or you just come and you're acting up and you're talking to people anyhow, and you want to be physically, you want to get physical and all of those things, we withhold the right to tell you that, see, based on the way you're being, disrespectful, this service cannot continue. So these little things, to an extent, helps the client to know that this thing is not okay. So even if you want to come and start raising your voice, you need to understand that there is another human being that is also here attending to you, and they deserve some level of respect. Trust me when I tell you, anything that you feel odd about, or you feel off about, or you feel like this thing has been an issue, add it to your terms. It doesn't matter if your terms and conditions is 5 pages. It doesn't matter if it's 2 pages. See, it doesn't matter how other people are doing it. Whatever will make you have peace of mind, especially when you're in this game for long. It's very important that you put every single thing down in that terms and condition, but you don't want to also overwhelm the clients. There's a way the terms will be too long. The person will open it and be like, is it a job interview, and they will just be discouraged to book. So you want to make sure that you highlight the basic points or the most important points, and then now decide, what you want to do with the ones that can, be left out. Okay, we had situations whereby maybe clients will come to the studio, which I believe everybody who has been in the beauty industry for a while, there's no how you wouldn't have experienced this at some point. But the moment I added this to my terms, it wasn't in my terms at the beginning, it stopped. You understand? I had like 2 people who booked normal session, and then on the day of the session, I'm hearing things like, "Oh, have they brought the bouquet? Bouquet for photo shoots." I say, okay, maybe I'm the one that's overthinking it. And the next thing I'm hearing, are the bridesmaids there? The funny thing is that particular girl, I'll never forget, she lied. It's a different thing if maybe we always ask you. You understand? She lied. We asked her, she said it was just for a photo shoot. A photo shoot, and you're talking about bridesmaids. Do the people now get bridesmaids to do photo shoots? It doesn't make any sense. So I confronted her and I said, "Oh, hi, I'm just finding out that you're getting married. Are you a bridesmaid or you're the bride?" As I came straight like that, she couldn't lie. She said, "Oh yeah, she's a bride, she's getting married." I'm like, "So why did you say?" Because the moment my assistant books you, if she's the one that takes the booking, she will tell me what the service is for, so that I know what I'm preparing for. You get what I mean? So you told us it's a photo shoot, so why are we hearing bridal now? She said, "Oh, is there any difference?" Excuse you, is there any difference? That is a story for another day. See you guys, I have a lot to say. Get to the comment right now and ask any question you have relating to whatever point I'm laying out. Ask it there, and I'm going to pick topics from there. Trust me, all your questions, I said this year, I'm going to serve my girls who have been loyal to this page, to this platform, have been, wanting to learn from me. So go there, use it. You guys did it. I need to commend you guys for the last comments, because it made me know that I'm not sharing content for myself. So if you have any question relating to anything or anything else I didn't talk about, or you want me to talk about, comment section is always where to be, because I always read the comment section. Okay, so that is something that you want to add there. So now, as at the time we were using this new policy, once we find out that you are a bride in disguise, it's either you're paying the full money there and then, the difference in whatever you paid, or you stand up and leave. But trust me, it never happened again after we started using this new updated policy. So trust me, your policy saves you a whole lot. Point number 3, it says appointments may be rescheduled no later than 72 hours to the scheduled date. This can only be done once and via email. New dates should be within 30 days. Okay? So pretty much saying that you can change your appointment. Of course, things happen. You don't want to be too strict in your policies. You don't want it to be like, oh, once you've paid, that's it. No, things happen. Even I have been other people's clients, and I know that a couple of times things happen. Maybe somebody was sick, my child was sick or something, and I just couldn't go. So you want to make sure that you're considerate. Your clients too are part of the reason why you're in business. So make sure that if you're putting your policy, you have a little clause that kind of like accommodates any unforeseen circumstances. Okay, but if the person doesn't reschedule within the time you've told them to reschedule, that's on them. But sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, it just happened the night before." It's now up to you to know, do you think this person is saying the truth? Do they give vibe? Have they been an easygoing client? There are clients who have been very difficult from the onset. You now wake up and come and start telling me you want to change your appointment last minute. I'm not agreeing unless you come with like strong evidence. So yeah, you just have to know, okay, what do you think you can do if the client does not reschedule within the time? If you want to be strict with it, trust me, about one thing about these services is that it's good to be nice. Okay, for your own conscience and for the God you serve, it's good to be nice. That thing I find is that a lot of people, when you're strict, best believe they're going to talk about you. They will carry your gist and they will go everywhere, but who cares? Okay, what matters is that you know that deep down within you're doing the right thing. You're serving your clients the way you're supposed to, and you're on time. You follow up with your policies. You're not the one breaking the rules. And as much as possible, try to accommodate those who are saying the truth in terms of the reason why they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Okay, then point number 4, in an event the artist is unable to deliver the agreed service for any circumstance beyond her control, example, sickness, natural disasters, etc., the client is entitled to a full refund of all fees paid. The client is not to hold RTM Beauty responsible. Simply saying that if for any reason we are not able to deliver your service, this never happened, thank God. this never happened. But you want to put that clause out there. You want to put that clause out there just in case, God forbid, you wake up and you're having bad diarrhea or something really bad happens and you just cannot, you just cannot go for the job. Something beyond your control. Something, God forbid, I've heard cases where maybe that morning somebody's mom is in the hospital and they are the only person available to take them to, rather the mom is sick and they are the only ones ready available to take them to the hospital. Those kind of situations, I don't know, if it's something you can manage or something that there's no way out. That kind of situation, of course, it's going to be a terrible experience for the client. She's going to be so unhappy. But if it's really beyond your control, refund her fully. And at least offer to help to get someone else who can deliver a good job. Most times they are still upset, but there's not much you can do in that situation, okay? Number 5, terms and condition is, if you have any skin, this is very important. If you have any skin/health condition, please report this to us in bracket before booking. RTM Beauty is not to be held responsible for any allergic reaction as a result of makeup application. Simply saying that if for any reason you have a skin condition, maybe you are breaking out badly, you need to tell us first. Not the one that you finish doing your makeup and then you say that, oh, it's the products they used. No. Because regardless of the products you're using and how expensive, how good, you want to also ensure that you are putting out this clause. Because people can pin things on you, especially if you live in the part of the world where the law can be upheld. Okay? If you have this, the client's ready before paying, nobody can sue you. Nobody can come up with a case against you because they didn't report that they have a skin issue. The moment somebody says, oh, I have this bad skin condition, that I will not book you because I don't know what product can trigger that. You understand? Can trigger those allergies. Okay? So I will not book you. But then it's up to you at the end of the day to make your decision based on what you think will work for you. So be very, very careful. It's always easy to think that, oh, it can never be you. I've seen a lot. I have really seen a lot. So make sure that you put out this clause out there so that whoever decides to go ahead to book without telling you that they have this issue, they have that issue, it's on them. And God forbid anything happens, they will not pin it on you and your brand. Terms number 6. We run a no refund policy except for number 4 above. Number 4 says, in an event the artist is not able to deliver the service due to sickness or natural disasters, they are entitled to a full refund. So number 6 is saying we run a no refund policy except for number 4. Okay? So that simply means it's straight to the point. We don't refund for any reason. Like I said earlier on, if for any reason you're not able to come in for your appointment due to whatever reason, you have the right to, reschedule within the time we have stated you should reschedule. You can reschedule your appointment for another appointment for next 6 months. Most times people don't have any event coming up, so you leave the booking open. Okay? Yeah, so most times they find something to use it for within the 6 months. 6 months is a long time, okay? I wouldn't want to say 1 year because you don't know what can happen in 1 year. For those of you who are married, you don't know you could be pregnant or anything. You just don't know. And if the person reaches out, they have to go with a date that you are available. They cannot reach out and say, oh, this is the date I'm available, and then it has to work. No, you're the one that broke your appointment in the first place. So if you're giving me a new date, it has to work with when I'm available, okay? But me, most times, once I see their date, I try my best to just see if I can squeeze it in and make it happen, unless it's now totally impossible. Because the earlier you get over with it, the better for you. You don't want to keep bringing it back and you knowing that, oh, there's one pending appointment somewhere. Okay, so number 7 says, so like I keep saying, don't put no refund on your bio. This is the right place to put your no refund. You can also add it to the bank details or whatever you send when you want to collect the payment. Okay, number 7 says, if you are booking at a later time, please reconfirm availability before paying. This was one thing that brought a lot of issues, not too much, but a couple of times, where somebody will take your details, they will not say anything, they will not say go ahead, they will not say they are not going ahead, they will just take the details. And then maybe when another person has booked, all of a sudden they will now go ahead and pay. That is now having 2 payments for 1 slot. So I put this clause out there so that if you're paying, you have to confirm if the slot is still available. So if we send you the details, send you the terms, we in the message, in the email we're sending you, we leave a clause that the slot has been temporarily reserved for 3 hours from when, like for example, let's say we're sending you the details by 12. So we'll say something like, hi, for example, hi Ginika, thanks so much for your interest in booking our services. Please see below the terms and conditions, and after that you'll receive the payment details. Please go through the terms and conditions before booking, because it's very important that we're all on the same page with what works for both parties. The slot has been temporarily reserved for you for the next 3 hours from when this email is sent. Everybody sees the time email is sent. So if, for example, they didn't see the email on time, they'll message and say, oh, I just saw the email, I was working. Is it okay to go ahead to book? It's now for you to say, oh, yes, it's okay. So this caused a lot of trouble a few times, but eventually with time, when we started emphasizing, please ensure to read the terms and conditions before booking, it reduced totally. Okay? But this is very important. Make sure you tell people that you cannot take payments today and then you don't pay till 1 week later. And then most of them will not reach out to ask you, is it okay to pay? You need to put this clause there. Okay? I know a lot of people that if you go ahead and pay after they've booked another person, they're not refunding you that money. They put it in their terms, but I felt that that's a little bit extreme. So it's for you to decide. Let me know in the comments, is that something you think you're going to add? Are you going to say, once you've paid, I'm not refunding you a dime? Or are you going to be kind enough to refund a little? Let me know which one. Is it the A or B? A for refund just out of pity. B for no refund at all. I'm not refunding if you mistakenly pay for a slot that has been booked by another person. Let me know in the comments. So number 8 says, extra guests, in capital letter, extra guests and kids are not allowed in the studio. I've had only one client who stubbornly brought her child without telling me ahead of time. When she got there, I was upset, but I didn't show it. I was upset because why I even put this policy, there was a time I used to allow kids in the studio. I'm like, oh, okay, they're just kids. The mom will bring them. Of course, when the mom is doing makeup, either they're shaking, especially the younger babies, either the baby is shaking and pulling her hair and her face is shaking, and we're ending up doing a 1 hour session for almost 2 hours, because back and forth, sometimes they have to pause, attend to the baby. It's a lot, and it eats into the next client's appointment. The worst case scenario is most times they go and they're pulling your light, they want to touch it, it's something that you cannot deal with. I will tell you that is a very bad one child, not a baby, one child broke one of my lights. Like, she mistakenly pulled it, because you cannot be doing makeup and be chasing baby up and down. Most of the time they don't have anybody holding the baby for them. I don't allow extra guests. I was doing my services from a room in my house, so I don't have room for extra people that I don't know. Like I keep saying, it's very important you know who you're booking. But allowing them to bring any random person, like pretty much your whole policy of trying to be sure of who you're bringing into your house, at least to the best of your ability, is now useless. Okay, so make sure that you put it out there. If you want to allow guests and kids, that's fine. If you want to allow them to bring anybody, it's on you. But I didn't used to allow it, and it gave me the most peace of mind. Number 9 term and condition is punctuality in capital is extremely important to enable us serve our clients efficiently. Any delay more than 15 minutes will lead to a cancellation and a full charge of the service. This simply means that if you're more than 15 minutes late to your appointment, we reserve the right to withhold the full money you paid. As at that time, mind you, based on my payment policy, the person would have paid in full. So I'm not losing anything. So this, I'm telling you, this helped me to maintain clients coming early at least 95%. It's only that a few, maybe 90%. That 10% is just the ones that no matter what you do, they will still be late. But it wasn't too bad. You now see lateness like 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late was like the max. Only a few occasions, like 2 or 3 occasions, there was one particular lady that came for appointment 1 hour late. No call, no message, nothing. I didn't take the appointment. But later on, she eventually really explained that her child was really sick. It was an emergency and she couldn't. The truth is that conscience, but I know some people that will not give you back that money. So me, what I did, I told her I was going to give her 50%, okay? Because you blocked the slot and it was a weekend, you block a slot that another person would have booked and you didn't, so is me personally, I had to refund her 50% just so I can sleep well at night. Okay, so but it's all up to you to know what exactly you want to do. Okay, number 10, I have only 10 terms in my list. Number 10 says proceeding to book confirms agreement with the above terms and conditions. So pretty much saying that if you go ahead to book, it means that you're okay with what we've put out there. Like I said, you can choose to use contract, but I was using contract more for more serious things. This was my studio sessions. Let me know if you want me to do one for bridal sessions. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Let me know if you learned something, and which one of these is not in your current terms and conditions. Let me know in the comments.